up, guys? Welcome to Your MVP3, where I will be discussing the NFL divisional round of the playoffs again. There were a lot of big games last week. A lot of teams made it to the playoffs this week that I was not expecting at all. But we're gonna go through all the matchups and see what I think about them. First, we have the Ravens versus the Steelers. And what more can be said about this game? It's a rivalry game. They're at Heinz Field. The Ravens are coming off a very emotional win versus the Chiefs. Joe Flacco really proved himself last week as a playoff quarterback. If you ask me, there's a big distinction between regular quarterbacks and quarterbacks that are built to play in the playoffs. And I think Joe Flacco proved to me last week that he can hang with the best of them in the playoffs. He had a really big game last week versus the Chiefs. Not that he needed one, because the Chiefs got just slaughtered last week. The Chiefs did everything wrong and the Ravens did everything right. But going into this game versus the Steelers, like I said, it's a rivalry game. For me, it's the rivalry of the linebackers. Suggs on defense versus the Ravens has a lot to prove versus Palomalu and their defense on the Steelers side of things. Palomalu also is going to be another big factor. He hasn't played in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, so that's going to be a big thing. Can he play big, and is his injury as big or as small as they're making it out to seem? I don't think he's that hurt, but I don't think he's going to play at 100% either. A couple of things make me think that. The fact that he has 2 or 3 weeks off, the fact that he got an injury going into the playoffs. I think that defense is going to be just a step. Each defense on each team actually is going to be a step off. Because, for the Steelers, they've had 2 weeks off. And for the Ravens, they're going to want to feel out the way the Steelers play for. Ben Roethlisberger has been here before. He knows how to win in these situations, and he's not one of those guys that buckles under pressure. So 2 week buys or not, or excuse me, having a bye week last week, not playing in the wild card, is not going to affect them. I think it actually helps them. It gives everybody a rest. That game last week was a blowout, but it was also emotional for Ed Reed. He had a very emotional post-game speech to the rest of his team. That team right now is playing for him, so it's going to be a very tough one to try to figure out. But like I said, I think Ben Roethlisberger has been there before. He just knows how to do it, and he's beaten the Ravens before. So look for them to win in a close one. The next game we got is the Seahawks versus the Bears at Soldier Field. Marshawn Lynch, what more can you say about that guy? He had a big run last week. His run last week is probably, if you ask me, it's the best type of power run. Better than Emmitt Smith. He was a power guy. Better than Walter Payton. He was a finesse guy, but also a power guy when he had to be. Better than Marshall Faulk, even though he was a different type of runner. He was more like, he was the type of runner to escape from guys, not the type of runner to run straight into guys. But it's still the best run I've ever seen, ever, especially in the playoffs. I can't remember a better playoff run than that. Matt Hasselbeck. I think if you ask me, that's their most valuable player on that team. Last week he had a bunch of big plays. A bunch of big plays where he threw the ball up in the air, but in a smart way. He capitalized a lot on the one-on-ones versus their corners and the type of defense that the Saints were running. And he just caught that Saints defense sleeping. For the Bears, Jay Cutler, they have a little bit of momentum going into the playoffs too. They look like a really strong team going into the playoffs. The one thing I will say about Jay Cutler is this. When he looks good, he is great. But when he looks bad, he is really bad. When he looks bad, he doesn't even look like a starter. That one is 50-50. Which Jay Cutler are you going to get on Sunday? Are you gonna get the quarterback that looks like a pro, or the quarterback that honestly looks like a rookie? Again, that one, I think just the Seahawks have too much momentum. They believe in themselves too much right now, and they're gonna upset the Bears. Then you have the Packers versus the Falcons, and they're gonna be at the Georgia Dome. It's gonna be a home game for the Falcons, and Aaron Rodgers. Again, this week is gonna be all about the quarterback in each game actually, and Aaron Rodgers just really proved himself last week. He played like a beast. Enough can't be said about the guy. Even though I had the Eagles winning, Aaron Rodgers again proved to me that he's a quarterback that belongs in the playoffs. Especially having beat the Eagles last week on Sunday in a very close game. Michael Vick wasn't bad, but he didn't play well enough to win that game. And Aaron Rodgers did everything right. He rolls out. I think his best weapon is his ability to roll out of the pocket and have that quick release to his wide receivers. I think even the analysts on NFL Live said it too on ESPN. That quick release that he has is a big weapon. That throws off the linebackers more than anybody, because if you've ever played football, you want to rush the quarterback, especially if he knows that especially if you know as a linebacker that that quarterback that you're trying to get has a slow release. You know, if he starts from here and goes all the way here, that's a slow release. But Aaron Rodgers, what he does is he rolls out. He starts right here. He keeps the football right where his ear is, and when he has to let it go, boom, he zips it. And when linebackers know that you're a quick release guy, they won't blitz you. They just won't. The Falcons, even though they have 11 wins this year, I just don't think can get it done versus the Packers. They couldn't prove themselves against the Saints on a Monday Night Football game in the regular season. I don't have any reason to believe that they're gonna beat the Packers this week. They look good, but they don't look proven, and that's gonna make the difference to me. So look for the Packers to win that game. And then finally, we have, if you ask me, the game of the week with the Patriots versus the Jets. And the Jets are going to be playing an away game. They're going to be at Gillette Stadium, and that's going to be big. You know, the trash talk between these two teams has been going on back and forth. It's been really one-sided, but it's been going back and forth. You know, the way the Jets trash talk, they come right out and they hit you in the face with the trash talk. The Patriots, they're more of a, you know, they trash talk by not trash talking. You know, Tom Brady, you know, about the trash talk has said a bunch of times, "Oh, I've been called worse," or you know, he's tried to downplay it, but that's still a form of trash talking, if you ask me. This game is going to be really hard to call. Because I'm a football fan, but first and foremost, I'm a Jets fan. I really want to see the Jets do well at Gillette Stadium. But the Patriots, they look like the most well-rounded team in the past, I'll say 6 or 7 weeks. There's no reason to think that the Patriots are going to lose versus the Jets. And I hope that gives the Jets an advantage. One thing about the Jets, they've kind of been tagged as the road warriors. They're known for going into the opponent's stadium and coming out with a victory. They're actually the best team, not statistics wise, but if you ask me, they're the best team that can do that. They're most ready to go into an away stadium like Gillette Stadium and come out with a victory. Cromartie has to have a big game, especially because he was the guy that trash talked the most. So he's going to have a big game and stop those wide receivers. The other thing is, can Revis stop? It might not be Revis' job depending on what the defensive scheme is, but can Revis stop? And if not Revis, can somebody, I don't care who it is, can anybody stop Danny Woodhead on the Patriots? You know, that guy is their X factor. I think the Jets, or I should say, I hope the Jets are going to pull off the victory. And I think they have enough things going in their favor. They have that confidence back. You know, you beat Peyton Manning, you can beat any team in the league. So I think they have that confidence, that swagger is back for them. And this one is also going to be a close one. but look for them to come out with the victory. So that's it. Those are my playoff matchups for this week. I hope you liked it. As always, check out my blogs on yourmvp.wordpress.com and check me out on Twitter at Mike's Viewpoint. Alright, this has been my video blog for the divisional round of the playoffs. I hope you liked it, and stay tuned next time.